I could sleep my way to the top with him.
Oh, there you go. There's that. There is that.
I am going to gold dig Fred. That's my plan for 2014.
He's got a big nose. He's skinny.
I'll tell him what he can do with his big nose and he's skinny. Sex with me.
Big no sex. Do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it took a while. My Skype Conrad password. I mixed up the word Conrad with password just now. They're a little similar.
Am I your password?
Yes, to life. You get me all the things I want in life. Just I gotta enter Conrad.
Wow, you do not want much.
Well, having a talk show with video game people every week, it's great. It's all thanks to you, Conrad.
I was late anyway. We kind of came on at the same time.
Oh, good.
Because
Yeah,
I
it was,
had a suit tailored for me for PAX. I don't know if it's going to be ready in time now, so I might not have it. Nice black suit, red lining inside the jacket with the Jimquisition logo stitched into it.
Whoa.
Very nice, but I don't know if they thought I was like a Stretch Armstrong doll that had really let himself go. But they got the dimensions very odd. According to the people who I've now taken the suit to get it fixed, half the measurements were right, and half of them were wildly off base. I guess that's what you get when you try and do these things online. So they fixed that. I was in the little sort of tailor fixing shop. They were run by 3 Asian people who were all gathered round me while I had this suit on, just poking and pulling at me and talking to each other in their sort of language that I couldn't understand. And it felt very objectifying. I felt like a piece of meat being traded as they were poking and pulling and laughing amongst themselves, probably saying fatty bum bum, fatty fatty bum bum. I don't know. Or just laughing at the suit, because it did look ridiculous. So I felt, yeah, like an object, like a piece of trash, like a piece of meat. So Jonathan,
Yes.
what's it going to take to get your cock out at PAX?
What?
I felt pretty objectified today. I know what it feels like when you come on this show and it gets objectified. You get objectified and we talk about your body parts. Almost as if they're like products and not connected to you as a person with a heart and a soul and dreams. And I've got to say, I didn't care for it. I didn't care for feeling that way. And I now choose... I've internalized all that, processed
sympathy.
it.
You're feeling so sympathetic towards me because you now know how it feels to have your body treated like a thing.
Not quite. I feel vengeful and
towards
angry.
the Chinese tailors, Asian tailors.
Towards the world at large. A world that could make someone feel so low. And I now choose to radiate that shame and anger and sense of inadequacy in a directed, very intense, tracked beam towards you, Jonathan.
Towards your friend, Jonathan. Long-time friend. Years now. A friendship. I think of it as friendship. I don't know.
My old friend. My old friend. I was at the tailor's, my old friend. They poked and prodded my rear end. And now, get your cock out, Jonathan, at
in
PAX.
public, in a public event. You'll get arrested and I will be happy. That didn't rhyme, sorry. I would get arrested, you know.
You would...
Cock out.
No.
Cock out arrest.
No, because we might be hosting a Podtoid party. We're just sort of finalising potential details of that. There may be a Podtoid party at PAX during the weekend at some point in the evening at one of the local leisure houses.
Watering holes.
Watering holes, and other words that mean that. And
a place where our audience will become more conducive to finding us funny.
Yeah. It's basically narrowing down society to those few broken elements that might laugh with us instead of just at us.
And providing and giving them a place where it serves alcohol so that, there's hope between the two things.
It's basically, really, really sort of hedging our bets, really narrowing things down and upping our chances. Attracting potential Podtoid fans, getting them very drunk. And, of course, the ultimate crowd pleaser, Jonathan's leaky twanger.
Whoa, why does it have to leak? Is that the on-lock bullet point, selling point? Leaking.
People want to see it leaking pre, Jonathan.
Leaking pre...
Come.
Oh, I see.
They want to see you up on... this is what's going to happen, right? Come On by Busta Rhymes is going to play at the event. People are saying, ladies and gentlemen, the night of your life is ahead of you because it is Podtoid on what might be a stage with some real lighting and a microphone. And everyone will say yes, and then they go, come on! I will be doing this myself with a microphone. That's what it... We gotta watch him. While you pull down your trousers and your underpants, and then just sort of, reach over arm down onto your penis. So you're gripping it from the top with the fingers and thumb at the base. And just masturbate that till it gets hard. All the while, I'm prancing around you going...
I wouldn't... you could do whatever you want.
I'm Busta Rhymes.
At that point, sure. Not only are you Busta Rhymes, so you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want to any part of my body, particularly the penis, at this point, and it will not get erect at all because I will be so sad. So sad. You can't. Maybe other people get erections when they're sad.
I exclusively get erections when I'm sad, and I get double erections when you are sad. Not because I enjoy your sorrow. No. There's just some primal attraction to you being having a frowny face.
Boy, you think you're sad? You think you'd be sad in that situation, though, Holmes? Imagine how sad you'd be if you were wrong, and you're standing up there, and all of a sudden, outside of your own hope and dream, and completely inexplicably of your own control, you just have this sort of swollen member, and you just look at it, you're like, why does my body betray me?
Yeah, and it's never been so erect. You looked down at it and said, I could have done with it being this hard and engorged a dozen times before now, and it's let me down. And yet here it is. It is, just massive, throbbing, and drippy at the end.
Ugh, gross.
Because I'm on stage in front of, there's going to be, at least 6 people. While I'm in your ear just going, come on! and probably, we'll probably have Conrad with a thermos of lukewarm coffee, just drenching that down the front of your shirt so that we can see your bosoms.
Oh, my pecs?
Yeah.
Chest muscles.
Yeah. And people will, all the people in the audience will be like, oh.
All the women. All the young, attractive
Hey,
women.
let's not narrow it down just to one
Yeah.
gender. I expect almost all of the guys are going to be that way, in spite of themselves. Even if they're totally hetero, they're going to be looking at you and being like, you know what?
I mean,
In this circumstance,
everyone. We're talking, men, women, trans, cis, chairs. The bar stools will melt with your intense heat from your hot bod, Jonathan. And we will look at it, we will point at you and say he's got coffee on him. It's evaporating just off of his hot chest. Check out his hot bod.
I have an okay bod. It's fine. Some people liked it in that one episode of Talking to Women About Video Games where Jenica Katz forced me to strip. People are like, oh, decent bod. Decent.
That was a good video.
It's okay. Yeah. Not a ton of views, but those who enjoyed it.
I bet you
really
enjoyed it, just being degraded by a woman.
I didn't.
Saying,
I didn't mind. It was a good joke, I guess.
Take your clothes off and wear my bikini, you worm.
Shit. It was prearranged. It was a thing we planned out. It was her idea, but I was happy to do it.
Well, that's role play. BDSM role play is all about two loving, consenting adults, Jonathan. As it will be when we have our BDSM role play at PAX.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. No.
Come on, by Busta Rhymes. We got him watching now.
Is that a real song?
Yeah.
I've never heard it.
Oh! So we've got that planned for one part of the evening at PAX. Is Jonathan's leaky pre-cum family extravaganza. Pre-cum picnic, I think we'll call that. Jonathan's pre-cum picnic. That's actually a good... We could do that as an all-day event at PAX. Just somewhere around the Seattle area. Go to a park. Go to a local park. We'll all bring, picnic baskets, hampers. There'll be sandwiches in there, Jonathan. Cheese sandwiches. Honey glazed ham slices. Boiled egg.
Ugh. I don't like it.
Don't be fussy.
I don't like ham either. You know I don't eat ham.
I didn't know that.
Pigs. Oh yeah, we talked about those pigs I cared for that one week.
Oh.
That one wild week in Chicago.
There's going to be a lot of ham.
But bacon is
I
good.
won't eat it.
Pork chops
I'm sure it's
good.
Yeah, I just won't do it.
Okay.
So what, you're just going to walk the earth? You're a bum. That's what you are, a bum.
I mean, it's going to be mostly pork products, pork and ham and sausage meat at the picnic. There will be some cheese, little baby carrots, snacking carrots, mulled wine, full of mulls. But you don't have to eat too much because you'll be walking around the park naked, slowly masturbating your penis. And just
saying,
say when, because they hold out the wine glass, and you drip a little bit of pre-cum into the wine glass. Say when, like a restaurant server with those giant big pepper grinders.
A cum-LEA.
A cum-LEA. How's that, Jonathan? At the pre-cum picnic, the cum-LEA, and you just. Oh, like that, and you just drip it in, and they drink and go, a good year.
It's this year. It's that second. It's instant. It's that instant.
Fresh.
Where the liquor came from. Fresh, sure.
Fresh from the babbling brook. So that's two events. We've got Jonathan Holmes' pre-cum Podtoid pre-show party, and Jonathan Holmes' pre-cum picnic. So you come to PAX, listeners. Those two events are on the cards already. That's in the bank. Give Jonathan a kiss in the toilets.
What?
How's that one? There's a not the main toilets near where the entrance is, but round the corner from that. The escalators that go down towards the entrance and exit of the Seattle Convention Center, there's a public toilet just opposite the subway, the little interior subway, and there's a toilet there. And I'm thinking Friday afternoon, you stand in there, and people pay $5. They give me $5 to go and give you deep kissing with tongues.
No, I am so not into that.
It's not prostitution.
So not into it.
It's not prostitution because they don't have to do any butt stuff.
I don't want to kiss. I'll kiss my wife. Very few people I like kissing.
Well, she'll have to pay me $5 along with everyone else, and she'll have to get in line.
I'll have to pay you $5.
Your mouth parts are going to be in high. Your mandibles are going to be in high demand.
No,
it's half the reason some of these people are going to PAX, Jonathan.
To get a deep tongue kiss, strange
deep kiss
man.
You with tongues in a public toilet.
I mean, there's some that would do it.
And I mean, the other thing is during it, if they give me a little extra, I'm thinking an extra $2. So you pay me $7.
They're paying you.
Yeah, paying me to deep kiss you, and for $7, you'll have your jeans round your ankles and your underwear round your ankles, and you've held your penis for overhand round the top.
Really?
And you're slowly masturbating that, and you just rub just one little wipe of pre-cum on their thigh as you kiss. Just doesn't have to be on their bare leg, Jonathan. If you're feeling like you'll be invading their personal space, it can just go across their trousers or skirts, wherever they want it. Really, just somewhere where it's on their leg area. You smear it on, and they'll never wash that garment again.
Yeah, they will. They'll wash it as soon as they can. They'll be so. Do they know?
They paid extra.
They've paid.
That's what I'm saying. It's $5 for a vanilla, normal deep kiss with tongues. Extra $2. He'll smear the tip of his leaky todger on their clothes, on their thigh area. I mean, it might be their bare thigh if they are wearing like a skirt with like a very short skirt, I guess, or cut off shorts or hot pants, Jonathan, or just their underwear. Maybe they just pulled their trousers down, and you're just deep kissing in a bathroom with just two people with their trousers around their ankles at PAX Prime. Hosted by Penny Arcade, the Penny Arcade Expo, John.
This is all hosted by Penny Arcade. It can all be traced back to them.
Yeah, I mean, if there are charges of prostitution at the event, it is on their shoulders. It was on their watch. The enforcers were not enforcing it enough. But the point of the matter is that's going to be a nice little moneymaker for us. You'll get a cut of the earnings, Jonathan.
Well, how much?
You get half of any of the extra $2 that people pay. So if someone pays the $7 for the pre-cum smear, you get $1. That's a whole bucko, Jonathan. You save up enough of them, you can go down the escalator, go down to the little area of PAX where all the tabletop card games and stuff are played, buy yourself Flux.
Flux?
Flux, the card game with ever-changing rules. And you could plonk that down and say, here's my pre-cum money, can I have a card game, please?
Why would I tell them where the money came from?
So that they know you didn't steal it.
Flux has really changed over the years. I remember when that game first came out. I think somewhere I've got a version 1.0 deck of it, and they've added so much crap, just iteration to iteration, and simplified things and made shit more complex. That game is awesome.
Yeah.
So you're saying I should buy it?
Absolutely. Yeah, you should totally buy that with your pre-cum earnings.
With your pre-cum money, Jonathan. Your pre-cum.
Pre-cum cash.
Where did it... I'm thinking of... For some reason, I'm thinking of...
pre-cum pesos.
Yes.
Pre-cum moolah.
Thinking of Morrissey, former singer of the Smiths. I don't know if he has a whole...
Why? No, why?
I'm thinking of... For some reason,
That is a life that never goes on.
Oh yeah, that's a poetic tune.
That's Morrissey, ladies and gentlemen. There'll be another Morrissey impersonation next week.
There will be.
No. That was the first and last time.
So here's a for the like 3 people who watch Saturday Morning Hangover. I've never. It's finally time. I'm just gonna. The opening music, which is basically just a guy screaming something. It sounds like, and it's a loop. It's taken from a song by a band called the Warlock Pincers, and it is called "Morrissey Rides a Cock Horse."
Oh,
I think I've heard of that song.
It is a phenomenally fun tune, and everyone can appreciate it. And I highly recommend you go and seek it out.
I think we've talked about Morrissey before, and your opinion of the man.
He's a fine human being. I hope he does very well and continues to do very well.
It's very kind of you. I'm thinking I want him to write a song for Jim about Jim, asking him why. You know? Why do you have these ideas? They don't make anyone feel good, except the terrible people that want to hurt a stranger or two. Oh, why? Just only Morrissey could keep it gentle enough so it doesn't seem like an attack on poor Jim. Because no one knows why he has the ideas. Nobody knows. Some people love him, some people don't. But nobody can understand what generates them. You know? Do you know? You don't know, do you, Jim? They just come to you, right? Like magic?
Jonathan.
Uh-huh.
When are we going to open up our own Renaissance Fair?
I don't think we're ever going to, sadly.
We're gonna, because I was thinking about this the other day, right? We were talking about going down to the Renaissance Fair down in Texas, me and my friends. Mostly because I'd go, put on the English accent, impress all the boys and girls, and then they'll have sex with me in a hotel room.
What?
Just seems like an easy job.
Wait a minute. What'd you say?
I'm going to go down to the Renaissance Fair, talk in my English accent.
You can do that.
And everyone will say, wow, he is really good at Renaissance Fairs. I'm going to have sex with him in the hotel room tonight.
Okay, well, first of all, there's a couple of interesting points about this plan that I should... I do have a little bit of experience with these people. And I will tell you this. Yes, that will work.
Yeah, it will.
Yes, that will work. And 2, I hope you're the one with the hotel room. Because they're living in a tent somewhere out in back of that place.
Oh, I already am well aware that they
yeah.
have tents. I'm going to have a hotel room because I don't live like that.
That's wise. Yeah, I would not. And you know, you may want to have them go get into the shower first.
Do I?
Yeah, just a thought.
Optional. Depends on the mood.
Yeah.
Depends how stanky I'm feeling. Anyway, the point is, Jonathan and Conrad, gentlemen, we're going to run our own Renaissance Fair. I've been scouting out good locations. Now, obviously, down in Houston, Texas, they've got a really big Renaissance Fair. It's huge. You eat meat there. Boston, however...
Boston, Mass, yes.
As far as I know, isn't that big on the Renaissance Fair scene at the moment. Doesn't seem to have a big Renaissance Fair thing going on, unless my research is wrong. And it rarely is.
I could talk to you about that, but I don't want to slow down your idea. You're on a roll, so please continue.
I mean, the other point is if they do Renaissance Fair things at Boston...
They do.
Fuck them. Because ye oldie, homesy, medieval, life...
Well, what kind of Renaissance Festival crew are they running up in Boston, I guess is my question. I mean, are we talking about the artisanal craft vendor type or the totally nutball crazy Society for Creative Anachronism type?
I think nutball. There's one of those restaurants, of course, Medieval Manor, you can go to, where everyone has to pretend to be one of those things. I think they have like jousting inside of it. And then there's the actual fairs that happen out in the woods, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Right, and that's what I'm thinking, because Jim's thinking, you know, the type in Houston that he's talking about, that's, you know, kind of like a bullshit, we're here to sell you crap type of, I mean, handcrafted, very finely manufactured crap that you don't need. That's, I think, what Jim's going for. Am I right?
You know when you said nutball? Similar. It's very much a lot of nuts and a lot of balls at Jonathan Holmes's rascally Ren Fair of Boston Town, of ye olde Boston Town.
What kind of nuts? What kind of balls? Like golf balls and cashew nuts?
Take my hand, Jonathan, and take a trip through time itself to the Boston Ren Fair of Rascals Fair and giant hanging testicles.
Giant?
Yes, they're massive.
Nobody likes them.
So anyway, we're going to run a Ren Fair. I've been trying to think. It's going to be very, that kind of thing. Going to find a local park. I've cleared it with the mayor. I've cleared it with Mayor Houlihan. He's fine with it. I haven't, but I'm assuming he'll be fine with it.
Mayor Houlihan of Boston?
Yeah. We're going to set up some tents. Get a couple of handfuls of straw each. And sprinkle them on the floor. And I think that's all you need.
Handfuls of straw?
Big handfuls. Between the three of us, that's 6 handfuls of big straw. We got the tent set up. We drip them around. And then we've got, a ghetto blaster from the 90s. So it's ye olde worldy. Playing, some music from prog rock group Griffin.
Griffin? I'm not familiar with Griffin.
It's medieval music.
Sounds good.
Has that got you in a medieval mood or not?
Makes me feel soothed and like I might be near a flutist, so it's good.
Yeah, so there you go. All sorts of events, come one, come all, come hither to the Rascally Ren Fair of Yoldy Boston Town. We've got jousting. Of course we've got fucking jousting, Jonathan.
What kind of jousting?
Well, you and I are going to wear buckets on our heads and charge at each other with broom handles on skateboards.
Oh, we're really going to get hurt. Are we wearing anything?
As we pass each other, we're going to lift the broomsticks and just smack each other hard in the side of the bucket helmets.
Oh. But we get to wear clothes or armor or something.
What?
Do we get to wear something to make sure that, you don't get really badly stabbed?
Yeah. I've made us some suits of armor out of tinfoil.
That's not protective?
Yeah, it's pretty protective.
It doesn't even keep you warm.
I know you're worried about grass stains on your pants, but we will be naked. Apart from, tin foil, up round our crotches, and essentially chainmail bikinis made of tin foil. We've got a big strip of tin foil round our breasts, Jonathan, and a load of tin foil sort of around the front of our penises and testicles and running up our butt cracks. And that's all duct taped onto our flesh. And we've got buckets on our heads, and we're on the skateboards, and we're just swinging broomsticks around while going, "Ah, for the king and queen of Boston!" And, of course, the king of Boston, he's Conrad Zimmerman.
Oh.
Sat on a chair being carried by some vagrants we found, who, to be honest, we're going to find them under a bridge in Boston, and I'm guessing they won't need much costume. They will look pretty medieval as it is.
Some do.
They're transients, Jonathan.
Sure.
And they will do anything.
I mean, we could do a casting if we need to.
We can, yeah. I mean, we're going to need a lot of unfortunate people. Really. People who we can pay in essentially marijuana and some food.
If we can pay them on the promise of paying them, then I'm all for it.
Exactly. We'll just I'll give you something That's all it is. It's a barter system in the olden days. Just say, I'll give you something. Come here. You know, you can live off some food. We got deviled eggs. So that's it. We'll have a whole bunch of homeless people from Boston paid in deviled eggs. 4 of them will be holding Conrad up on a big chair. And Conrad will be wearing a doublet and hose, dressing gown that's purple, so you know he is regal, and a crown, a paper crown. And he'll always have a turkey leg in his hand.
Damn right.
And he will shout, "Joust on! Brave Sir Knights, joust on!"
Turkey legs are the only reason I can be dragged to a Renaissance festival.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people are there for the meat.
And I've recently discovered that my local supermarket carries 2 packs at a dirt cheap price from local turkey farms on the off season, so I am thick in the shit at this point. Let me tell you, it's pretty great.
And we will we'll be running this at off season, so we can bring some of those from Portland. You can drive some down from Portland to Boston.
Yeah, they should be pretty ready to be eaten by the time that we drive them across the nation.
Yeah. I mean, keep them warm. Right. I would say have them on the car's radiator as you drive.
Right. Yeah. Because it's like a smoking process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, smoked for your pleasure.
Right.
Lift up the hood of your car, bung them all in. I'm thinking 50 turkey legs, bung them all in. If there's too many, and really get too many, you might need to tie a rope around the hood of your car to keep it down, and just drive there, and try and get stuck in traffic a lot, so that the essences really stew and circulate around themselves. And dump all that into a bucket when we get into Boston, leave them out in the open air so that they freshen up. And we'll give those away to passers-by.
That's death meat. That's poison.
Authentic turkey leg!
That's not... I mean...
Sir, you look like a man of discerning tastes. Have a freshly smoked turkey leg. Cooked on an Oregon sedan.
You can't... There's many chemicals in and around the interior of the front of a car. There are.
This is the land before chemicals. This is history. There were no chemicals back then.
But we're not technically back. There's carburetor fluid. There's washer fluid. There's oil.
What sorcery is this? Oh, you've never heard of such a thing. And of course, to really make this authentic, I will not be doing my normal British accent. I will be doing the accent of an American doing a British accent. So I'll be there, dressed up in, sackcloth, peasant's garb, selling these turkey legs. Just, "Oh, hello, sir. I'm a British person. Why don't you eat a turkey leg?"
They'd be really scared of you. I mean, of course. Why do I even say that? It's implied. That the whole thing is terrifying and terrible and saddening and sad.
How is it? It's an enchanting trek through time.
It's not. It's a tinfoil poison meat nightmare again. And it's not even the first time. We've talked about the poison meats, I think, and the terror. In the tent.
Podtoid is mostly a podcast about poison meat and terror. But this is not that. This is ye olde Boston. This is what Boston looked like in the year 1066.
That was Native American time.
I've built a castle.
1066.
I've built a castle out of cornflakes boxes. You get a big wall, 4 big walls of cornflakes boxes, and then you put one cornflakes box on top, and then another, a foot apart, so they look like ramparts, so it looks like a proper castle.
That would be cool looking.
Yeah, I've not painted them. They are just covered in big green chickens. With Kellogg's cornflakes written.
Oh, that's right. No, that would be cool. People would like that for a second.
Yeah, it'd be like the Disney castle. They can't go in. I've not built a door. They are just 4 solid walls. I mean, it's hollow inside, so you can throw things over the top. It will probably just be a giant trash can. Except when we take the castle away, there's no floor, so all the trash will just fall over and flatten and litter Boston Park.
It's
But it'll
more fun.
stink. Like, we'll encourage people to throw their disused turkey bones over the ramparts and, but fruit that they've been eating and just trash, like soiled diapers if mums have brought their kids. And they can just change baby's diaper and just hurl it over the top into the Kellogg's castle. And
Well, I was going to ask, where's the vomit going to go? Because everyone's going to be throwing up from the carburetor meat. Got poisoned by.
They can just do it up against the castle.
And I'm picturing...
Hello, Kalai, I'm here to say, if ye need to vomit it up, go over to the castle and bring a cup.
Why?
For the mead.
Oh, do they keep the vomit in the cup?
Yo,
Oh, they get some meat.
they throw up against Kellogg's castle, and to wash down the hydrochloric acids and boil and general taste of salmonella, which is authentic for the time, they can go to see Madame Busty LaRouge, the local prostitute / whore. And
Busty LaRouge?
yeah. Just
Who's that?
have a look at that bald, beige-looking prostitute wench wearing a sackcloth dress, and she'll pour you out some mead. And
Who's that?
it's you, Jonathan. You're
Oh,
Busty
it's
LaRouge, the local serving wench, who will also do favours.
What kind of favors?
Sexy favours.
Like,
Serve your winch.
Yeah, serve your wench.
serve your winch? What does that mean?
And you'll be all like, can I get you some mead, sir? Or would you like me to get on my knees and give your salty cock a blowjibber?
So they've just vomited. They've just eaten poison meat. They're in a tent. There's some hay. There's music going
Which
in the
it may
background.
just have been me recording myself for 3 hours, just going. Yeah.
A man is there. He thinks he's a woman. He thinks he's a British woman. He's yelling at you. He's telling you that he'll give you something to drink. Who
I know
knows
you can do
that?
the voice.
You've already eaten the meat.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already eaten the poison.
Well,
meat. Now-
you've made the mead for them.
And they don't know what's in there.
I know what's in there.
What's in there?
Well, what did they used to drink in the olden days to ward off scurvy?
I don't know.
Jonathan
lime?
Holmes's urine.
I thought it was limes. It's not urine.
Oh, but you can squeeze some lime in there for flavour.
I can.
Yeah. Just have a glass of my piss to ward off the scurvy.
Why would they have scurvy? They're not on a ship.
It's
They're
role playing.
They were healthy before they came to the tent.
It's role play,
fine.
Jonathan. You'll be in a big tent. You'll be in a big tent. Like the kinds you see people selling fireworks out of. There's all sorts of straw and feces on the floor. Because to really give it that sense of medieval time, I will be asking for every homeless person we employ to do a giant shit on the floor. Mostly in your tent, Jonathan. In Busty LaRouge's tavern. Because that's the authentic earthy smells of the medieval day. Just the smell of shit.
And vomit
And there'll be vomit and pee. But the more that people vomit and pee and shit, Jonathan, the more authentic it becomes and the greater the roleplay experience.
Not to interrupt, but I'm suddenly inspired by the idea that we change the name of Podtoid to Shit, Vomit, and Me. That's how I feel about most episodes. Not all.
That could be the spin-off companion book.
To Podtoid, the Podtoid story. Shit, Vomit, and Me.
Shit, Vomit, and Me. So why don't you have a glass of mead and for a shiny penny or I'll take your nuts in my mouth.
The end. Just a cold stare after that.
Yeah, well then they've got to decide. Do they want to take their complimentary mead, or do they want to pass you over a farthing and get themselves a little sneaky blowjibber?
You can guess that most will leave fast. Maybe get the mead.
You don't need to feel excluded, ladies. I'll eat pussy too. You'll say that as
They're
well.
thrilled. They are so... they can't believe their good luck. Finally, a screaming, strange man in a dress saying he'll give them free cunnilingus. No, I'm charging them, right? I'm charging them.
At a very competitive rate.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pre-inflation. This is pre-industry. So, you know, they've only got to give you a dime.
Oh,
And you've
wow,
got to-
that's expensive. Jesus Christ.
Well, Busty LaRouche is the greatest blowjob in the village.
And this is pre-condom and dental dam, I imagine. So any sort of
Yeah.
sword I've
And-
acquired in my travels.
And I will have asked you before, like about 2 months beforehand, that you've not brushed or flossed at all. So that it really is sort of authentic. And if you could just like chew moldy bread and leave it in your mouth overnight, every day for 2 months.
I'd be pretty diseased at that point, I think.
Well, there's a good job they drunk that piss then, isn't it? See, everything's there for a reason, Jonathan. Everything's there for a reason. So, you know, you'll be giving blowjobs and cunnilingus. I'd probably say it'd have to be paper money if they want you to do the arse.
What do I do to the ass? Eat it?
Eat it out.
Ah, that's not... You don't want to... That takes
Pop a
full
turkey
day.
bone up there.
Pop the turkey. As you probably know, maybe... I don't know, maybe you don't. What I'm told is that if someone's going to chew on your butt, you've got to... the double, triple clean, or else they're going to end up eating some poops.
Yeah. Maybe for the soft, namby-pamby, pampered, preemed modern age.
Mm-hmm.
This is the land of warrior poets and hardy adventurers, and prostitutes who weren't afraid to lick a dirty butthole.
It's not fear, it's just
Those
caring.
were the days.
Edith Bunker suddenly accompanying us on our
I don't
journey.
know why. I could not resist Edith Bunker in there.
I don't know if she'd approve.
Oh, probably not.
So,
Maybe.
you know, you've served piss to a guy, he's bent over, you've licked his arsehole out, you get the next person, you know, how about you, madam? You want to get on your back?
Oh, Archie, can I get my asshole licked by the prostitute?
Edith
Well,
Bunker
that went a little Jerry Lewis there at the end.
Yeah.
fair enough. They're all part of the same gang, in my opinion.
Whore!
Whore? Is that art?
Whore! Nice lady! With the rouge and the lips on the balls.
Wow.
Hi!
Flavor.
So that's officially what our king now sounds like. That's the king of Old Boston, basically Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
Joust
Edith
with the
Bunker.
running and the hitting on the skateboards.
Turn of events.
So,
Yes.
jester time.
Oh.
What is a Renaissance fair without jesters?
Not much of a Renaissance fair.
There's a fucking shit Renaissance fair, Jonathan. So, you know, Conrad, because we'll be doing different roles. So at this point, Conrad will be the town crier. And we'll be all, hear ye, hear ye. Jesters are coming. And then they'll know that it's jester time.
Mm.
And that's when we come out, Jonathan, dressed as jesters. Now this, because I love jesters, is where I will actually spend money for costumes.
Oh.
So we will be coming out in full motley. You'll be red and green, I'll be red and yellow. Bells, like big, like pointy collars with bells on them. Those three-pronged droopy hats. We'll have a folderol have those little jester sticks with a little funny face on them, pointy shoes, tights. And then,
Alright.
yeah, and we come out, stone-faced, silent, deadly serious look on our face. Stand there, and then fall backwards onto our backs, roll towards each other, and that's when we do the kissing.
It's not what people consider a foolish...
It's pretty foolish if you've not been brushing your teeth.
Well, it's foolish for you, sure, but
They
it's
will
not...
look and say, that is reckless behaviour.
It's horrific. This is... Especially the part about the moldy bread cunnilingus. That is...
Moldy red cunnilingus!
It's very... It is an untapped horror gold mine. You know, if they make a new Nightmare on Elm Street, and they want to terrify every woman in the world, all they need is to have Freddy Krueger moldy teeth. You know what time it is? You know, right out of the blankets.
I'm gonna eat your pussy with moldy bread!
It's terrifying. It is terrifying. I can say that, and without even having a vagina.
Wow.
I know if I had one, I wouldn't want.
I think they'll be satisfied.
Sexually satisfied?
Satiated, yeah.
Satiated. Sexually satiated.
Especially if you've been doing a few bumholes that day.
Oh my god. Man, bacteria and vagina.
Oh,
not...
suck it up, Cupcake.
Who, me?
Calm down. Anyway, for the Jester play, we will be like rolling around while kissing with tongues, and our legs sort of intertwined. Mm-hmm. And it'll be almost like a UFC fight, because we will be trying to pin the other one down while still kissing the whole time kissing. And Conrad will be keeping score, like with a stopwatch, the ye olde stopwatch, I guess an egg timer, like a sand timer. And timing it. Actually, this is brilliant. 2 sand timers, right?
Yeah.
Which he'll flip. He'll need a lot of sand timers. Fuck it, stopwatches. 2 stopwatches, timing how long each of us spend pinning the other one down while kissing. And the other one will try and wrestle free and pin the other one down while kissing. And
like a King of the Hill type game.
Like a King of the Hill type thing, Jonathan. While other people around us taking bets and like throwing small pebbles at us.
Violent kissing bets.
Yeah.
People want to watch that.
We'll be dressed as jesters. Who wouldn't want to watch that? Who wouldn't want to watch 2 jesters wrestling and kissing while being timed by the king, by King Jerry Lewis? Huh? Answer me that.
Do I seem like I'm a killjoy or a player hater when I say that it's not a good idea?
You're a role player hater, stepping in the way of our medieval fantasies.
It's very few people's fantasies. It's some people's, I'm sure. It's all sorts of people.
You know, they gathered round whole crowds, waving dollar bills in the air, screaming ye olde dollar bills, y'all, at us. And throwing small rocks at us. Because that'll be a distraction. Because, you know, I'll have you pinned down, and my tongue will be right deep in your mouth, exploring your every crevice, your every sensual wet crevice. And then a rock could blindside me in the temple, and then I'll break away. And to get the points, you've got to be kissing. So if I then withdraw, Conrad will stop that stopwatch, and that gives you a chance to reverse and pin me down and kiss me.
I see. There's a technique here.
Yeah.
Strategy.
And you'll want to win, Jonathan.
Why?
Because the loser has a tattoo of the other one, like massive on their chest, pointing forwards with the words "fuck you" underneath. It'll say, "Fuck you, I kissed the jester man."
Like a realistic tattoo?
Oh yeah, I mean,
like
exact likenesses. And so if I lose, I'll get a picture of you tattooed, wearing the jester hat and pointing, and it just says, "Fuck you, I kissed the jester man."
And
then if it's you, it'll say, fuck you, I kissed a jester man.
I love that no matter
have
who
sex
wins,
with my penis.
regardless of who wins, Jim wins.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Well, usually
I mean, this is hinging on the possibility that I won't already have that tattoo by then. Which
Of
might
me?
still be a problem, because I'll still take the tattoo. Then I'll just have to do it over the existing one. So it'll look double thick lines.
That would really hurt.
It'd be interesting.
Absolutely. Sometimes I have ideas throughout the week, and I think,
Yeah.
if I should tell Conrad and Jim about this on Podtoid. And then I remember, there's all these thousands of people listening to the show. Is this idea worth sharing with thousands of people? And I'll usually think to myself, I don't know, maybe. Probably not, though.
Well, if you're ever in doubt, you can come and listen to this episode and hear this idea and realize, oh shit, anything really is fair game.
Yeah. I haven't even talked about the time machine yet.
No, you haven't.
Because this is a world where anachronism is not cool. We don't want to break the suspension of disbelief. So if you come in with an iPhone or an Android or an iPad or anything technological, 3DS, PS Vita, anything like that, they will have to disguise it so it looks medieval. And that involves going over to Busty LaRouge's tent and having her hitch up her skirt and bending over so they put it inside her brown time machine. And it comes out looking very medieval.
Brown time machine.
Come stick your iPhone into the dark age.
That's like a selling point. That's an attraction.
Well, otherwise we'll turn them away. And they've already paid $25 to get in. So they're like, well, I can't just leave. I'm going to have to pop the iPhone into the time portal.
There's a lot of funny rock and roll songs about time machines. I recommend people look them up on YouTube. And
this is the time before rock and roll, Jonathan.
Oh.
There are bards. And Conrad is an accomplished bard. And that's why he'll be going around with a lute. At about 1 p.m. each day, Jonathan, Conrad will go over to Busty LaRouge's tent with his lute and just start strumming on it. Just rum, 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 and then I'll get a little pipe and just and Conrad will be singing, there once was a fair maid, pretty and bright. Everybody loved her chungus was tight. Kalu, kale, ha 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 ha. Yea, verily, verily. And that's when you pull off the sackcloth dress, Jonathan.
Oh, no.
To reveal your mesh tank top! Jonathan Holmes,
I think it would be a
mesh tank top!
It would be a chainmail tank top, wouldn't it?
Put on your chainmail tank top, Jonathan! It's the medieval times!
That's a very funny voice. I'm no longer Freaky, well, I never was, but there's a new person.
You are Freaka Constantina.
No, that's Thomas Strong now.
No.
It's always him.
No, you actually misinterpreted the purpose of that. He's actually leading the cult of Freaky Constantina, and he's demonstrating the summoning ritual. So you actually misinterpreted and got it wrong. It was never intended to claim that from you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, here's what...
I know you thought you saw an easy out, but...
Yeah. Unfortunately, he is a Constantinite.
Oh.
One of the Nephilim of the cult. Of the cult of Constantina. And for the purposes of this, at the Ren Fair, you will be Freaketh Constantineth. Freaketh Constantineth! Oh, woof, 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 woof. Make it rain Cheetos, ye oldie Cheetos. And we just got our big bag of Cheetos, and we're just throwing them at you unopened. While you've got a chainmail tank top on, and nothing else on.
Whoa.
And you'll be doing like that dance where you like sway your hips and go down and crouch down and then go back up while swaying your hips with your arms above your head while we're going da 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 da. Oh yay, yay! Everybody dance with me now. Ye olde Boston, come live the experience of another time and place.
Yeah. Makes me sad. I mean, I'll be okay. Don't be too worried at home. Some people at home say, I don't listen to Podtoid anymore. It's too depressing. I feel too bad for Holmes. He gets so badly hurt. I don't really. I feel good. But, these ideas, they go into your mind. They hurt it for a brief period of time. I wouldn't say it's like a pinch. It's more like a, I don't know, maybe like a soft noogie. Like a quick soft noogie.
I hope, like a dull ache.
Mm-hmm.
Not one that lingers, just a sudden, like, pulse. There's
It's
a
over
pulse
so
of
quick.
dull ache, yeah.
Maybe it's like an earlobe pinch. You're like, oh, you're touching my earlobe. I hope you don't for long. And then they stop. And they're like, oh, yeah, I was just giving a quick pinch. Don't worry about it. Forget it ever happened. And then you do.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's all it is.
That's all it is, guys. Don't be too worried. Don't be too sad. I'm not.
Seeing you in person next week, Jonathan.
They might be there. They might try to make me sad in person. That's where the trouble starts.
I will protect you. I'm not having shit.
Yeah.
I get, for all of the stuff that happens on Podtoid, I get protective when people try and pull shit. Like that person who thinks it's funny to do a parody account of you on Twitter, but it doesn't parody you, it just tries to impersonate you. They're back.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, because I'm guessing it's a Podtoid listener, it's not fucking funny. If it were an actual parody account, that was very clearly a joke, okay.
There's already a couple of those.
Yeah, there's a couple of them of me as well, and I'm fine with them. But it kind of very, very much crosses a line when it's an active impersonation, when you've made the name look as much like the real name as possible, you've got the same avatar and bio and shit, and just start interacting with colleagues and other professional relations, trying to convince them that you are them. That's not funny, and it's not cool. Don't do it.
Thanks for saying that. I know if I were to say it, they would then be encouraged to do it more, because they do. It's not. I don't know if they're trying to be funny. I think they're just genuinely trying to worsen things for me. And they do think you're funny, for sure. I'm pretty sure I know who it is, and there's someone who really looks up to you, Jim. So maybe coming from you, they'll care, but maybe they won't. Who knows? I've contacted Twitter about them. But Twitter, because I'm not verified, Twitter doesn't seem to be moving very quickly on it. So
yeah, it's all a politics game on Twitter.
Yeah, is it? I don't know much about it.
It's all a politics game.
Huh, interesting.
How can all the Polygon writers get verified and I can't?
Oh, you should be verified.
It's Chinatown.
People should watch that movie if they haven't seen it. I don't care what he did. It's still a good movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. Serious fucking business.
Yes.
God, I've been in a bad mood this week, I tell you.
Oh, you've been
not been a good week. It's not been a good week
for you.
Yeah.
You've had a lot to do, and you've done a lot that's been very good, I think.
Oh, thank you.
But it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
Really, this week, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm juggling a lot of reviews. I'm getting them all done, but I did bite off more than I thought was okay to do. I misjudged the timing, especially with PAX. So there was a lot of rushing to do, a lot of juggling of things, plus scheduled things that I had to do. I spent most of Monday afternoon playing Splinter Cell Blacklist online, because it was the only time they were doing them. And in between matches, in the 30-second breaks, I was running back into the office to put out PR disaster fires that I'd accidentally caused that morning, when I set the XCOM, the Bureau Declassified, the Bureau XCOM Declassified review live 12 hours early. It was 12 hours early.
That's not that many.
It was early enough for NeoGAF, Game Rankings, and Reddit to pick it up and have it be the only score out there, and that score be a 4.5 out of 10. And for a lot of comments, especially on Reddit, to have people say things like, I'm cancelling my pre-order now. And for certain people to not be pleased with that result. That was a tough time.
Very stressful. Yes.
That was a stressful time. To 2K Games' credit, straight professional about it. Not happy, obviously. I wouldn't be. But certainly not threatening, blacklisty, fire-breathing type of thing. So it was civil and cool, but still very stressful. And still, especially because in talking with them, I volunteered, or was rather sort of brought on to unveil the news on Destructoid of XCOM Enemy Within. The new XCOM game, the expansion to XCOM Enemy Unknown, which also had an embargo time. And this was one I really couldn't fuck up. So that went live at 3 a.m. last night. And I pledged to show that there were, this was all cool and being taken care of, and I'm not an unprofessional ass. I would stay up till 3 a.m. and make sure it went up. So that's a thing that happened.
And it was good, right?
You could have just asked me. I am up at 3 a.m.
You
just been said, hey, Conrad, you're going to be awake. You don't sleep.
Yeah, I could have. The thought crossed my mind at 3 a.m. I could have done that. But I was so paranoid anyway, I'd have probably just stayed up. So that happened.
I do the same thing. Anytime something is on a deadline and it's important, it doesn't matter. I couldn't have slept anyway. I'd have just been laying there in bed, eyes open, wondering, oh my god, did I fuck something up?
Only very rarely am I not up. If it's like a review, because a lot of reviews end up these days sort of embargo breaking 2 a.m. my time, and I will just stay up because I want to oversee it go up and make sure it looks good in its final form, as perfect cell. So that happened. That was a part of the week. Also was unwell yesterday, so that didn't help. And of course juggling a lot of review and writing things. And so it's been I'm a bit stressed, Jonathan, I don't mind telling you.
I would have never guessed. That and the tailor treating you bad.
That and the whole...
Not really. They just treated you like someone who goes to the tailor, really.
Yeah, which was bad enough for me. How dare they? How dare they take my custom and act professionally?
Your Let's Play series is doing really well.
It's doing
People
okay.
are really taking to it. The Divekick episode was a lot of fun to watch you play.
I played some Divekick this morning and recorded it and wasn't good at it.
Are you sure? I don't know. I thought you were pretty good. It's hard to win right off the bat. You were getting into the geometry.
She has 2 kicks.
Shoals
has 2 kicks.
I know, pretty cool.
Everyone was telling me. I only used 1 kick in the whole video.
You should have used... It's true. You should have used...
And they said, she's got abilities as well, you scrub. I'm like, I knew she had abilities, I just didn't have cause to use them in the fights.
Well, the thing about Divekick, and I'm working on it for a review, hopefully I'll be able to finish writing it, well, at this rate. I don't know if I'll get to it tonight. Podtoid does tend to disrupt those things. But anyway, like the feeling you got from playing Street Fighter the first time, you really don't know how to just suddenly do all the special moves. Every game, post Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Virtua Fighter, Tekken, you kind of know it's going to base itself on those motions to do the special moves. But in Divekick, it really is hard to figure out, and they don't come out and tell you because they really did want you to have to discover it yourself. So, yeah, I'm still working on it, actually. I don't know how to pull off some of the moves still. I have to check some facts or something before I finish the review. Pretty fun game.
There you go. It is a great idea, and it is fun, especially for someone like me who can't play fighting games. The simplified thing, like button scheme, does give it a level of accessibility. You still need to nail the psychology of the game. You still need to sort of... It's very much a game of outwitting someone else and planning and being tactical.
Sure.
All things I suck at. But it's at least a lot more accessible and fun and funny.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's all about angles, really. Because not to over-explain it, but horizontal kicks will get to the opponent faster, but leave you a lot more vulnerable to vertical kicks that don't have as much. So all the thinking on who's got the best offense, who's got the best defense, those kinds of matchups, and trying to pit the best character against the best character, it's all still there. It's just all you have to worry about is jumping and kicking for the most part.
Yeah, in many ways it reminds me of 30 Second...
Half Minute Hero?
Half Minute Hero, yeah. In that it takes an established genre with all its sort of complexities and nuances and just strips it right down to the bare essentials. And in a way almost parodies the hidden simplicity of a game. Where it's like there's all this stuff you're doing, but really you're just doing this.
Yeah.
But in a way that's not really insulting it. It's kind of celebratory of it. And Half Minute Hero was that for Japanese role-playing games, and so too is Divekick that kind of thing for fighting games. It kind of strips everything down to the bare essentials and sort of holds it up to you and says, this is what you do.
Yeah, pretty neat. I'm happy that it came this far. It was a weird development process. It started off pretty much as a joke, and then they were going to do a Kickstarter, and then they canceled the Kickstarter, which had worried everybody, and then Sony really picked it up and helped them out a lot. They're on Steam as well, but for now it's Sony exclusive, which kind of speaks to this whole week. Sony coming out with all of these huge bombs of news. Fez coming to the Vita. Vita getting a potential price drop to $200. So many games they were talking about. It's I don't know. How did you guys take it? It took a while for me to really let it all sink in. Oh, and Samurai Gun, that's also coming to, I think, the Vita and the PS3. It's such a face turn for Sony, especially the way they look at the Vita. It used to be kind of like the mini PS3. You can play Uncharted on it. Now they're really just going all out and calling it the little handheld indie console for the most part. That's the feeling I got, which is so different from Sony, who was all about most cutting-edge graphics and most powerful tech. And now they're saying, yeah, little weird games is what we want to put all our attention to. It's really strange. I don't know if Sony diehards are going to take to it. What do you guys think? Don't care?
Yeah, it'd be alright.
I think it's going to be fine. I think it's just going to offer more variety, because I'll be perfectly honest with you. I bought a PSP, and it sat there and did nothing. I almost never, ever used it. The Vita, by comparison, seems much more compelling to me because those are there as an option. It doesn't mean that that's gonna, necessarily appeal to the already existing Sony core consumer that loves their Sony shit, because that stuff's not going away. All they've done now is given me a reason to want it.
Sure. It's funny, though, at least from my perspective, it's pretty rare that a company can really take on 2 or 3 personas and people will take notice of that. People will, either brand you, oh, you're the kiddie console, or you're the high-tech console, or you're the first-person shooter console. So many people that just think the 360 is only good for first-person shooters, and of course there's...
People like to simplify things as much as possible for themselves.
Right, which gets... I don't know. I think that can make things harder for console creators to really diversify and be known for doing many different things well, when people just want to simplify and see them as doing one thing. It's sad. I hope that doesn't happen to Sony. I hope that it works for them, because I'm really glad they're doing it. I'm glad they're giving me a reason to want to play the Vita and giving all these smaller developers really the red carpet treatment that they rarely get outside of that. So that's been fun to see, but worrisome for me. I'm always worrying. Warrior.
Well, it was interesting to see the tactics. Microsoft is very much sticking to its old playbook, which we saw at Gamescom. It's chucking money at companies. It's buying itself exclusive content and timed exclusives and shit. It's the same stuff it pulled this current gen. Sony seems to be continuing this streak of self-reflection and understanding what its weaknesses are, and seems to have realized that it can't compete with Microsoft on that level. It's not going to have day one Call of Duty map packs. It's not going to have extra content for EA stuff. So we're seeing this big focus on indie stuff. We're seeing it bringing stuff to portables that we've never kind of imagined being on a portable before. It's just doing things that Microsoft isn't. And I hope it pays off. I mean, the stuff Microsoft was showing was exciting to your mainstream gamer, but it's also stuff your mainstream gamer has seen a dozen times before. The stuff that they're showing for the PS4, if you're into the PC gaming scene, sure, you've seen a lot of what that is. But to another person, to someone who isn't sort of into the whole PC indie gaming market, they're showing sights and sounds that are almost alien. And I hope that pays off. Because obviously indie gaming is exciting and it's a good way to break away from all the grey gloop that a lot of AAA gaming has become. So yeah, I hope it works out well. But that seems to be what Sony's doing. They seem to be playing against their weaknesses, or rather sort of playing to their weaknesses and making them strengths. So that's what I got from Gamescom, at least so far.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays in Japan as well, where I don't know if anyone cares about indie games very much in Japan. From people I've talked to, it's very much kind of a small, underground, cultish thing.
In Japan, I think Sony can afford to keep to its old tactics. Because I don't think the Xbox One, especially the way the Xbox One is treating a lot of international territories, I don't think the Xbox One's going to do too well out there anyway.
Sure.
I think Sony... I think Sony is going to do very well in the international market in general. If I were to do a prediction, I don't like doing predictions, really. But
sure. That's the feeling you get.
Yeah.
That's all you're saying. Yeah. Well, that was fun. We talked about the video games. Always feels good, guys. No one else wants to talk to me about video games, you know. I don't know if you guys really do, actually. Sometimes I imagine that for the Podtoid listener, of which there are many, many types, it's not just the shattered. There's also the shat turds. Shat turds.
Oh,
it's something
God.
to talk about some other time. It's true, they're turds. There's a lot of Podtoid listeners that think of me, believe it or not, as the less than cool one on the episode. And when I talk about video games, it's like, oh, I know. That's like when Not Cool Guy talks about video games in our group of friends. And we're all like, we don't want to talk about them.
Oh.
You're not as cool. Sometimes. Yeah, some people identify with that dynamic on the show. How do you like that?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about one of the ideas I had, because I think you're running out of ideas. Maybe. Or do you have more ideas, Jim?
I do have a Willem Dafoe pitch called Honey, I Octopus the Kids, but
Sounds good already.
I'm so tired, I might do it next week.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm really tired.
Oh, maybe you should just... I can just do questions now, then, if you want.
I think they've got
Let's
yeah,
do that.
They got their
You want-
money's worth.
Sure,
Their total lack of spending any money's worth.
You gave him everything you had. While I type the questions, I'll tell you. For some reason, I was thinking about you. You're in Tennessee, Jim? Is that right?
Mississippi.
I always mix up all those southern states. That doesn't work anymore, then.
Uncool Tennessee.
Uncle Tennessee?
Uncool Tennessee.
Uncool. Well,
Yeah.
it can be cool. I was thinking about you becoming a country singer that wears a tuxedo and really big, thick, dark glasses, and somehow make your skin much more pale, and a dark cowboy hat.
I can
And you're
still
pretty-
do that here.
That would be great. You'd be so terrifying. And I had a song written for you, but we'll do it some other time or never, because I don't know if it's worth anyone's time, really. Let's see. Are there questions? There sort of are. Not really. All right, fine. While the questions come in, I'll sing the song.
Yeah.
It goes, nice tits, cool ass, rock and roll. No question still. Nice tits, cool ass, rock and roll. Like, kind of nervous there.
Hmm.
It really makes me laugh to picture you being nervous in a tuxedo, sunglasses. The bridge goes, Still no questions. The bridge goes, I'm a real awkward guy, and you never want to get next to me.
Nice tits.
Conrad's suddenly done a coup on my song. He's chanting nice tits terrifyingly.
I was trying to find backing vocals for you.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Nice tits.
My only issue there is sometimes the recording
does the
software I
audio-
use sometimes cuts out when there's more than one voice. That may have come out as some sort of Cthulhu-like garble.
That would be good too. Questions came in. I can finish that
Thank
song
God.
someday. We didn't get to my favorite part, which quotes.
We'll get to do your
the
favorite
Beatles.
part.
No, that's all
Do it.
right.
Do it.
You don't want to hold people in suspense for next time?
Do it, whore.
All right. Well,
I got really aggressive.
You did. So the full bridge goes, I'm a real awkward guy, and you never want to get next to me. Put my hand on your thigh and look you in the eye and say, let it be. Just let it be. And then in whisper, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Like a terrifying devil Beatles. That part's thanks for liking that part, guys. Tons of questions came in the meantime.
Perfect.
Thanks for listening. If there was a Legend of Zelda movie, this is from the Perfect American, who is Perfect American on Twitter. If there was a Zelda movie, who would play Link and who would play Zelda? Channing Tatum as Link, and not Beyonce, Mariah Carey as Zelda, for sure.
Danny Trejo as Link, and Tyler Perry as Zelda. As Medea. Medea does Hyrule.
Medea rules Hyrule.
Yep. The Legend of Medea.
It's hard to top, but if you want
I
to
think
try,
Willem Dafoe would actually make a very good Link.
he could.
He'd
got
actually
that
make
sort
a
of impish face.
He'd make a picture perfect Ganon.
Oh yeah, he would be perfect.
Paint him up green and just have, I'm gonna lick your Triforce, kids.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's do Harvey Firestein
What?
as Link.
No.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Okay, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just gonna go over here and rescue this princess.
Sad how many people don't know
Simple.
Harvey Firestein. He's
That is
for those who haven't seen him, he's in Independence Day, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He's just in there being like, oh, here we go. Yeah.
And Edward Norton as Zelda. Edward Norton would make an amazing Zelda. He can be so feminine. It's stunning. For such a ripped, attractive, good-looking dude, he has got his soft side, and he could totally pull off Zelda.
I didn't know that about him. Interesting.
It's beautiful. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. There's a Lonely Island video on the YouTubes that you can go find. It's called Spring Break Anthem, and it's one of their songs that seems really annoying, and I probably wouldn't want to listen to too many times. But it's a whole list of spring break activities, and mixed in among those is "Marry a Man." And then they'll cut to scenes with I think Zach Galifianakis, Edward Norton, and I can't remember who the third guy is, but each of the members of Lonely Island, doing activities relating to marrying another man. And they're so beautiful because they're just shot with these epic, gorgeous settings, and they're way more interesting and attractive than all of the stupid shit they're doing at spring break.
Sounds good.
So beautiful. So yeah, you should go check it out. Spring Break Anthem.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Jonathan.
Uh-huh.
A friend of mine's angry, upset with you.
Oh no, what did I do?
My friend Kathy,
Yeah.
who is possibly in romantic love with Willem Dafoe.
Oh, okay.
Finds him very attractive and virile. And she
Okay,
told me the
sure.
other day that she listens to Podtoid. And of course the first
Alright.
thing I said was, oh dear God. But she found a lot of it funny. But didn't like that man who was talking about Willem Dafoe's ugly neck.
What?
That was you, Jonathan. I remember you talking about his neck on one episode, maybe the Vagina Coach one.
How dare
Maybe.
you?
Oh, Willem Dafoe is so humble.
You
Willem is so
apologise.
humble.
Apologise and say
I'm
that
sorry, Captain.
say that Willem Dafoe is a handsome lad.
He's very handsome. He's been in pictures for so long for a reason. I saw him in a movie in the 80s.
Your audio quality is terrible now as well. Apologise for that too.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that happened. Is it better now?
No, it's terrible.
I just can't talk anymore.
Oh.
I thought I just completely lost my mind and it had always been that bad and I just hadn't noticed. Thank you for pointing it out.
No, it's a mystery. I don't know what happened. I bet my wife is watching Netflix all of a sudden, forgetting that ruined the show. Sorry. So, I will stop talking.
Well, you need to do the questions and answer them.
I know. I'll do that and only that. I won't answer them. Conky, who is Conqy on Twitter, asks, what was the deal with that weird Ouya cartoon? He means the 30-second Ouya ad, which featured kind of a harsh stereotype of gamer, which is a guy in his underwear alone in a basement looking at a game box, Medal of Duty, a parody of Call of Duty.
Oh, I get it, because it's Medal of Honor and Call of Duty, and they put them...
Right, Medal of Honor is hot right now. And I like the animation. I like the feel of it. But the message they were sending was just terrible. It was a terrible... Whenever you're going to sell a video game, don't make fun of people who buy video games when you do it. Just don't do it. It's just going to make everyone feel like you are disconnected from them and looking down on them. And looking down on people who like Call of Duty, maybe not the best choice. Maybe to say, hey, you like Call of Duty? There's other things you can play too. On top of it, have this supplement your Call of Duty fun, guys. Otherwise, you're alienating millions of people. Anyway, that's my thought on it.
Taking half of the name of one thing and bolting it onto the name of another thing isn't a fucking parody. It's a reference at best, and a confused one at that. You fucks.
You see, I didn't even notice the Medal of Duty thing, and you guys, you're really laser focused on it. I mean, it's a stupid disposable thing. To me, it was really speaking more towards the idea that we don't feel like we're getting our money's worth out of our games, which seems to a certain extent silly to me when you consider how relatively inexpensive, as opposed to inflation, video games are, the amount of money that they cost to produce, for good or ill, and the fact that they're almost always on sale within a week or two if you can just be fucking patient. I don't know. I don't see why that... You have to be pretty fucking stupid, I think, to feel like you have to spend $60 on every video game.
I think it's stupid they charge $60 for every video game. That's another conversation. I don't care about the message. I don't care about their talk of the prices of retail games. I don't care about their portrayal of gamers. I care that it was 30 seconds of stupid, unfunny bullshit.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly funny, and the animation style is something... I've been watching a lot of like documentaries and so forth centered around the... what the fuck?
Sorry, I was playing with something and it fell out of my hand. Really ricocheted off my desk. Sorry.
What was it?
The New York... Yeah, what was it? What fell?
It was one of those little... I forget what they call them. They're like these modern spoof muscle men type little toys.
What?
So anyway, I watched a couple of documentaries on Netflix about people in and around the sort of New York underground video scene in the late 70s and early 80s. And this kind of animation reminds me a lot of that. And I think the internet, in a lot of ways, and the internet video revolution that we're experiencing right now reminds me of that in a lot of ways, in that the barriers are almost completely gone. And this had that sort of rough underground feel and appeal to it, but it didn't make its point, I think, effectively enough, I guess is what I'm getting at, to the point where you're so focused on how not entertaining it is, when that not entertaining stuff, that should be ironic. when it's done well. And it didn't feel ironic. It just felt frustrating and long.
Yeah. So it was stupid, anyway.
Makes me feel bad. I like the Ouya idea.
I mean, I love the Ouya idea, but people...
But I love how we keep saying I love the Ouya idea.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm not that big a fan of the execution. I don't think many people are 100% a fan of the execution.
Well, of course not, because you can't make something that appeals to everyone. And that's what they're trying to, that's the attempt here. And they got millions and millions of people who have their own ideas of what it should be who contributed to this project with their money and feel like they have a part of it.
Well, that's why, again, we've had this conversation. It's why I would never consider at least at the moment, I certainly wouldn't want to consider a Kickstarter for anything. It just seems like too much of that. And that's the other thing that gets me, is why they put out such a combative video when there are so many people with sharpened knives waiting for Ouya to slip up.
Well, it could be like a Sega does what Nintendo don't type thing.
Yeah, they're not in a position to
they're
say
not.
they're doing it, and they had an image, and they still have an image, I hope, of being like nice and inclusive and not wanting to put anybody else down, and then that commercial kind of went the opposite direction of that and made them seem like snobby, bullyish types, and that's a turn-off.
Yeah.
Is my audio quality still bad?
No, actually, it just got a lot worse.
Yeah, it's dreadful. It's the worst.
Huh. I think it had gotten better briefly.
Okay, I know talk. Killer Mime 93 Vid Sermon asks, how does it feel to be so old in the gaming press?
Are we?
That's not aimed at me. I'm a sprightly 20-something.
Yeah, I mean...
Still in the 20s, that's the point.
Yeah, I don't even know that we are that old, Holmes and I. I mean, you look at some of the other people who, write for the various other major sites, and they're all around their, early 30s for the most part. You have a few young whippersnappers, your Patrick Klepeks and whatnot.
Unless he's counting YouTube as the gaming press, in which case we might have a good 20 years on some of the popular guys.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's very possible. But yeah, so I don't feel that old, and it's not something I really think about, honestly. I feel like we're old in relationship to the audience a lot of the time, but not necessarily to our peers.
Indeed.
I mean, the people who listen to Podtoid have the minds of children.
I can't talk.
Actually, you're not too bad now.
Yeah.
Seems to be going up and down.
Little worried. Yeah, it's probably when the movie my wife is watching probably gets really good, then my quality will get worse. A lot of people asking about Zelda movie. Is there a Zelda movie news announcement that I missed? Because there's at least 3 questions about it. People asking
news to me.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it afterwards. Sam of all things asks, Blue Waffle or Lemon Party? I don't know what Blue Waffle is. I know about Lemon Party. It's old man.
Yeah, I've never seen Blue Waffle.
Trust me. If we're choosing between the two, stick with what you know. It's so better the devil you know in this case. Because I've seen them both. And if I had to choose one to scrub from my mind forever, Blue Waffle would be it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a follow-up to Lemon Party? Is it post-Lemon Party?
It might be post a party, but there'd be no lemons involved, considering, lemons citrus imply healthy.
Oh boy. I'll do one more question. It's Raoul Duke Nukem at Jamla. Yeah, it's pretty cute. He asks, do you believe in life after love?
Ah?
Do you believe in life after love?
Oh,
I
that,
can feel
right.
something inside myself. I really don't think it's turning out now.
Do you believe it? You have to chop at your throat to do that. It stimulates a gag reflex, but...
Yeah, I think that love is all right, but you can live after it, for sure. Sometimes better. Sometimes no love is best. Then you're just living, without love getting in the way. Just do whatever you want.
I'll tell you
Enjoy
what.
it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I will send my wife skiing and see if she hits a tree and dies,
Oh!
and then I'll let you know.
Oh!
Wow. Wild.
Ouch! Ouch! That is Sony talking about Microsoft on stage levels of cold.
You, Jim? Life after love? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the things we're doing and did then. So we did questions. There's more coming in, but we're out of time, guys. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
I'll be quick. We had Austin Ivan Smith, the director of DuckTales Remastered, on Holmes. That rerun should be up. He talked about a lot of things that I didn't know about. I was interested in them. Talking about all the voice actors that were a part of it, and some of the animators from Disney, or background artists from Disney, that they managed to get on the project. It's pretty incredible. I wish he could have made a documentary about just making the game, because the process sounded amazing. And he also talked about a lot of the criticism that the game has suffered, if you want to look at it that way. And he had some very interesting retorts to it. So, if you're interested in DuckTales and or how to make video games, you should listen to that with Austin Ivan Smith. Is it on iTunes yet? Soonish, Conrad?
It's uploading to YouTube and on iTunes right now.
Great.
And there's wow. Yesterday there was an inexplicable spike in traffic on the podcast, which is mighty strange. So people are listening.
Before?
Yeah, it hasn't even been uploaded yet. Yeah, no, there was just a huge spike in traffic yesterday for reasons that are completely beyond me.
Weird. Okay, thanks, someone.
Thanks to whoever was listening to it.
I did have a particularly popular tweet yesterday.
Did you? Were you witty?
No, it was terrible, but it's something that spoke a language that a lot of people knew, so it became popular. I said that Princess Bubblegum is like Nintendo, Marceline is like Sony, and Lumpy Space Princess is like Microsoft. And everyone was retweeting it. This Sunday, we have Jake Vert Kaufman, the composer of the music for just about every Way Forward game that I can think of. He might not have done their very earliest games, but he's written with them for a while. He's also doing the music for Shovel Knight. He also does concerts. He's a very talented, fun, interesting man, and he will be on the show to talk about making music for video games and other things. This Sunday, live on Holmes, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Twitch TV, and on the Destructoid front page. And hopefully I will have that Divekick review done within a day. If not sooner. Can't wait to get that done. So look for that too. Thanks. All right, that's me. How about you? You.
Okay. All right. Fine. God, oh my God, so much stuff is going on Destructoid in terms of video right now. Last week, Stephen Hansen started a new series called A La Cartridge. It's a cooking show. He's creating game-themed recipes that you can make at home, and so you'll want to go check that out. It's pretty good. The first episode had a lot of cuts, like a lot of jump cuts. It was a little crazy. It's cooled off, so give it another shot. If you saw the first one, it's chilled out a bit for the second one that just went up today. We also have a new episode of Office Chat that should be up tomorrow, where we talk about some of the news out of Gamescom, which is pretty exciting. And we've got a new series premiering tomorrow called Challenge Scott. It's a whole bunch of challenges in specific games, very specific things that this guy is trying to do. The young Scott, who's a longtime Destructoid user and community member, and those are really entertaining. So that's going to start soon. And then Jordan and I have been playing Spelunky on weekdays and trying out the daily challenge there and recording it and uploading it, and that has just been a hell of a lot of fun.
That is such a good show as well. I really enjoy it.
Thank you very much. It's been a kick to do, and it was one of those things where, at first I was kind of concerned, is it going to be stale, us talking about, Spelunky over and over and over again, and that could very well still happen. But I was worried that I was gonna have to like come up with a whole bunch of like other shit to talk about and themes and like, are we gonna have to talk about news or whatever? Because what happens when the Spelunky play gets, but the Spelunky play doesn't seem to get boring. Like no matter how hard we try, we can't tear ourselves away from talking about the game. So I think that's pretty cool. So you'll want to check that out. We're gonna record a new episode right after we do this. So that goes up about midnight Pacific, and we record one every day. You can get a sneak peek at the level before you play it, or just compare how you did to how we did. It's fun. And other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I think so. Sounds right. Yeah.
Cool. What happened with me? Over at escapistmagazine.com, the Jimquisition went up. This week's Jimquisition is called I'm Going to Murder Your Children, and it's about the recent spate of death threats and threats to people's families that certain gamers have decided are a good idea to send to the people who make art for them, and how, if they think they're going to run off a less talented game writer or developer, how they're not really creating a good atmosphere for anyone who they think might be more talented to walk into. So that is an interesting video. Got a lot of responses. Got a lot of people saying, why are you saying this to me? And some people who sounded very insecure about that, which I found interesting. He said passive-aggressively. Rhyme Down Spectacular with Jim and the Artsy also went up. He did one about the summer drought of games. I did one called An Emotional Poem, which was about people who say the word emotion in their games to trick you into thinking those games are emotional. So that is good. Over on Destructoid, did quite a bit. Got a review up for the Bureau XCOM Declassified, which, because it went up accidentally early, a lot of people thought I deliberately lowballed it to be controversial and clickbaity. Then the other reviews were seen, and it turns out I was not that much lower than everyone else, so ha 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 ha. Splinter Cell Blacklist is another review I did, and that's cool. It's a good game if you intend to play everything it does, because Ubisoft does this whole three-pronged thing now, where everything's got to have solo, multiplayer, and co-op as standard, which I find a bit, but that's what they do now. So that's up. Also a review for Payday 2, which I really, really, really like. I really like Payday 2, and I like how they are doing so well, despite not falling into the traps of everyone else who think you got to do things a certain way to make money, and they're making plenty of money. And there are video reviews for all of those. They're all attached to the review themselves. They're also available on the Dtoid YouTube channel. Check them out. Conrad very nicely edits them together. So that's all that. Also, Now Bloody Playing, my Let's Play series, has 2 things up. I think it's been 2 since last time. I did one for Gone Home, the indie game that everyone's sort of up the crevice of. Everyone really likes that game. It's a decent game. It's interesting. It's certainly a lot more engaging than a lot of those walkie-walkie listen to a story games. Part 1 of that is up. I still don't know if I'm doing part 2, because I think it is genuinely boring. Not the gameplay itself so much as just what I did with it, with the talking. So it might not. But to make you feel better, there is also, we talked about earlier, a Now Bloody Playing of Divekick. So you can watch me be terrible at Divekick for a couple of minutes. And I think that's about it. I think that's all I did. It feels like I've done more, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just spent all my time being annoyed at the internet. But yeah, go on Destructoid, check out all the Gamescom coverage. We've got a ton of that. And hope you enjoyed our stupid fucking podcast. And we'll see you next week, probably. Will we? I guess we'll do it the night before PAX. Or at least the night before we fly out to PAX. So yeah, looks like we'll have you for one more. And then, you'll see us at PAX if you do go. Look forward to it. Bye!
Bye, lady!
J. Lewis.